For today, I've been applying to a few jobs on Upwork, and I decided to actually just share how I apply to jobs right now. Um, I'm not gonna like pull up an actual job right now, but I'm gonna show essentially how I go about it because I spend way more time on the jobs themselves. But the first job was essentially somebody asking for. Uh, Being able to scrape from the Better Business Bureau in the US. And this was essentially what he wanted. So I simply just decided to read through it and then use ChatGPT to like figure out what the things we needed to build and how they were supposed to like be built. And then I built out as essentially like this. This is just a skeleton of what he was asking for. But my thinking was, hey, why not just spend the time building out the thing he wants and sitting down and writing a good cover letter? But so that's essentially what I decided to do. Another thing also when it comes to cover letters is that my cover letters are pretty short. Generally speaking, I seriously just write, hey, I saw you. I don't even say hi, hey, actually that's a waste of time. I actually just say, I saw X on your X post, just to like show them that I read through the post. And then I say I built out a demo of the thing you want. Quick loom below. That's seriously it. Like, this is seriously it. And my thinking is that if I just acknowledge that, hey, I saw what you wrote about and that I built out the thing you want in a demo, because most people are really not going to build out anything before getting the job. And I've already gone through the trouble of getting to Appify, creating them like something that shows him that whatever he wants is what he's getting. Because with this entire the workflow right here, I actually do scrape the leads from the BBB, as you call it, shorthand, and then get those company information and put them inside a Google Sheet. And that's exactly what he was asking for. So he wanted to essentially get these phone, company name, and city and state. And then he wanted to use a search term, which is by city, state, niche, and then we need a URL to make the app if I work. And I essentially built out the entire thing in an easy way where I can show him that, hey, I can do this thing for you. And that's essentially it with this cover letter, because I've noticed that the more you write on the cover letter, the more Upwork kind of compresses everything on one line. So when a person is reading your cover letter, it kind of looks like everything is on the same line, like this, pretty much. It's just like this. And in my head, I'm just thinking like, I just want them to skim through my cover letter and go ahead and reply to my message. So like the entire goal of my cover letter is really quite literally to have them open my cover letter, and then then they enter step number 2, and step number 2 is where they essentially have to view the loom, because when they view the loom, I see that they have viewed the loom, and that's the next step. And then after that is about them replying to me, and once they replied, then we're in the next phase. So I've just essentially tracked every single step, used to like keep track of where am I losing the deals, because as soon as I know where I'm losing the deals, I can then fix that part and improve that part. So let's say everyone is watching, like opening my cover letters, but no one is replying to me. Then I kind of know that, okay, something that I'm presenting here is off, something is bad. I got to improve this part somehow so people actually reply to me. I have to maybe give a call to action or whatever. And the good reason for why this is actually a good idea to keep track of is because you will know right away where the problems are. And that's why I love tracking it this way, because I know right away what is going on and where things are not working. So I'm not working on like the end, because maybe let's say I was working on, the issue, maybe I start thinking to myself, the issue is the sales call, but I'm not having any sales calls because I'm like, all of the people are leaking off in the start, so it doesn't make sense to focus on that. but now I will be able to look back and see that data. But this was the first essentially workflow, and then the next one was this one was a bit harder to make because the person didn't really give much information. They only mentioned that they wanted to essentially receive some sort of report on Telegram, essentially take out the information from that Telegram message, and then upload it to Airtable. That's it. They wanted to also send some sort of reminders. I don't know what kind of reminders they were interested in sending. In that case, I simply just noted down in my cover letter, hey, I don't know what kind of reminders you're looking for, but if we can jump on a call, we can talk about that. So that's the entire thing. Like, go to the calls, you can talk with the people and like figure out like, can we help? Does this work? And that's my thought process essentially. Like, the call is the most important part, I will say. But yeah, either way, it was a simple thing, and I just mentioned it like, hey, I built out like parts of it, and this is kind of what you were asking for, etc., etc. And then I dropped the exact same message. But of course, I have to mention that I saw something else on their post. But like this part is the same because I did build it, and there's a quick loom in the message itself. So that is kind of the same. And then we had another one. I'm just going to paste that there, which is quite similar. So this person wanted to receive email with the PDFs, invoices in this case. They wanted then to essentially use an OCR to take out the information in terms of supplier, invoice, or type, essentially the type of the PDF, if it's an invoice, for example, or a supplier or whatever, and the total amount as well. And they wanted then to upload that file to Google Drive while renaming the file with those things they've just extracted. So the supplier name will be part of the name, the total amount will be part of the name, and the what is called the I think I already said total amount, and the type as well. That will be like part of the name. So the file will be named after the information we extracted, and then we will of course add a link inside a Google Sheet with the results. And here you go, and there is that, and that, yeah, and there's the invoice with the name Studio Show invoice. And the reason for why I kind of like doing this is, even though it takes more time because I need to sit down and build out the thing and like figure out, okay, how are you gonna do this? How are you gonna do that? I'm not saying you have to build out the entire thing to a T, but you kind of have to build something that works so I can show them on the video that, hey, here's the thing you were asking about, and here is the thing working. We of course have to make some changes, but it's working at least as I envision, as I think or believe you want it to work, essentially. So of course we can cut some corners in terms of like saving times at some things, but we still have to show them that there is something here that is working. But what I like a lot about doing this is that it kind of helps you focus more on the job and puts more effort into the job, because now now I want to make sure that my cover letter is good, that it is makes them read the cover letter and makes them watch the video, so they actually go like, wow, like he put down a lot of time in this. Of course, it's harder to apply to a lot of jobs because if I'm sitting here making like essentially free builds every single one, it takes more time, but I'm fine with that. And I know that not everybody's gonna do that, and but it is what it is. You know, like yeah, I don't know. I think it's worth doing it because it's probably far easier, especially when you're new in Upwork. Because I'm very new in Upwork, and so far I've landed 4 gigs by simply just doing this. So, and I saw another video where another guy said like that 80% of all the people on Upwork have actually not made any money. And that to me sounds very crazy because I feel like it's kind of easy to land roles on Upwork. That is not too hard. I wouldn't say like, because I applied today to this job, I've noticed that when you apply on the day, you don't in some cases they don't really get back the same day, is at least what I've noticed. Sometimes they come back like a week later or even 2 weeks later, is what I've noticed. But what I'm trying to say is that if 80% of all the people on Upwork are not making money, and I'm like, oh, I just started like a month ago with Upwork and sending out proposals where I'm be using the system and landed like 4 roles. So that makes me think like, oh, it's like, so in that case, I'm doing pretty okay-ish, if we're gonna be real. And this is actually the same system I've used also outside Upwork to land roles with other people and meetings. So I don't know. I feel like this actually works pretty well in terms of like just recording the loom and you're showing the thing they want and you're showing them that, hey, here's the thing. And a lot of people seem to like that. So I'm probably gonna keep doing that. But yeah, this is essentially what I've been doing so far. So yeah. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and I will see you in the next one.